All right, so the white. So now this major scale is a C major scale. Now, for those of you that need a little bit of music, all right, music knowledge, music only has 7 letters. Coincidence? 7 spirits of God, only 7 letters? Well, Robert, how can you say it only has 7 letters, but there are 12 keys? Well, let's put it like this. The musical alphabet is just from A to G. So then we have A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now, if we were to just play that, that would just sound like that. Okay? However, to make it into a major scale, we got to start from the true number 1, which is the Creator, which is Christ. So then it continues. Instead of A, B, it starts at C. It goes C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And then if we want to end with the last, right, we'll end with the C again. All right, are you following me? All right, can you see that? All right, so we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Once again, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. That is our major scale. The easiest scale to see is C for Creator and C for Christ. He wants us to know. He wants us to be easy. That's why he did it in the key of C. Every orchestra that tunes up, they tune to C, and I get into the reason why they have to tune to that another video. All right, but I want to get through this very quickly. Now, in this major scale on the piano, you can see it because it is all white. All right, it's all white. Why would it be all white? Well, let's read in the book of Matthew. Book of Matthew, verse 17. What does it say in the book of Matthew, verse 17? Well, this is what it says. It says, so Matthew 17, and after 6 days Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up into an high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as the light. Do I need any more proof? He transfigured before him, and it was all white. Who were we talking about? Jesus Christ. So therefore you have it all white for the major scale. Now, what we know is that we have the 7 notes, which I told you are the 7 spirits of God. That's why Jesus Christ is also God. He is the music. Anyways, now the scale that we see here, that it's all white, even though it's all white and we see what we play, but the focus is not only on what we play. The focus is on what is not played. As you can see, God allowed us to see the light from the darkness, from the night. What you can see? You can see the darkness here. Now, nothing wrong with these notes. God has a purpose for the darkness as well, so that the light will shine brighter. Okay? So, with the darkness, we can see that there's a black key here, black key, black key, black key, black key. How many black keys do we have? 1, 2 here, and 3 here. So, therefore, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is the number of grace. The reason why this sticks out is because God wants us to know that He is a God of grace. He wants us to know that Jesus Christ is also grace. It's all about grace. That's why the Amazing Grace could be played on all the black keys, because, now listen to this. Now watch this just in case you've seen this. It's not a slavery thing. It's the grace of God. Look at this. Now, the reason why that's amazing is because that who wrote the song, he used the grace notes, the notes that God has given to show forth His grace. The thing is, when you hear the major scale, you're actually also not hearing the grace that's there. But the fact that you can hear the major scale is saying that you can hear that you're experiencing grace. You're alive. You're experiencing grace. All right? So you can still make the most out of your life. That's why David got a revelation when he went against Goliath. He went with 5 stones. That's why this is known. Why is this important? This is known as what we'd say in music, the pentatonic scale. But where does that come from? Well, the first 5 books of the Bible are known as the Torah, but it's also known as the Pentateuch. So if it's the Pentateuch, that's how we get the term pentatonic scale. The scale of 5, the pentatonic, it stems from the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible, which are graceful. Jesus didn't come to replace that. He came to fulfill it. It's all about fulfilling what was in the original word. The whole story is based upon those first 5 books. All right. So the grace has to stick out. So we have 7. And we also have the 5 notes. So when you have the 7 plus 5, we get 12. And what is 12? 12 is the number of order. So that's why there is order in music. Okay? So, and if you wanted to see what really a 12 was, all you had to do was add the numbers to this. So C is the easiest key to find. So guess what? This would be a 1. See? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we can continue. C, as you know, it starts again. So we can say we have the 8, we have the 9, we have the 10, we have 11, we have 12. As you can see, 12 is also a 5, a musical 12, even though it's the number of order. It is also grace. So music is all about grace. The grace of God, because music is an image of God. So that grace now, which is also 5, notice that the 5 is a G. G for grace, or a G for God. There are no accidents in music. Now, one thing you need to notice about this major scale is in the C. Now, let me tell you this. Now, I could do this example in all 12 of the keys. However, if you don't understand music, it's going to be hard to see. So I do it in the key of C, pun intended, on purpose, so that it's visible. And that's why God allowed it to be that way, so that things can be visible. Now, before the piano was invented, it was hard to really see these things. All right? So if you had just had stringed instruments or trumpets, you couldn't really see music in black and white. Now, because it was invented by someone that got a revelation from God, right? How do I say? Oh, anyways, we'll get into that another time. Who got the revelation from God? Bartholomew Christophori. Bartholomew was one of Jesus' disciples. His very name tells us, all right, and his last name is Christophori. It had Christ in it, right? So anyhow, I'm going to get into that right now. But anyhow, so he did that on purpose so that we can see truth. In this major scale, it's not only what is played, but what's not played.
Origin of music has eluded musicologists, professors, and scientists for centuries. They've succeeded to come up with theories, but not a comprehensive explanation. In May 2012, Robert Chambers was in Zimbabwe to perform at the Jazz Festival with jazz singer Prudence. He was also to conduct music workshops on playing the piano by ear. While preparing, he prayed a prayer that would forever change his life and the history of music. He prayed, "God, I want more of you in the method you gave me." For the next 4 months, he was downloaded with revelation that reveals undeniable evidence that God created music. The proof? Musical concepts like scales, chords fingering, progressions, and more can all be found in the Holy Bible. Coincidence? You be the judge. To get more info on Robert's paradigm-shattering book Revelations, The Origin of Music, visit www.theoriginofmusic.com.